Well, good morning and welcome again to my study on this Wednesday morning. I am, as I think I may have told you before, the post-war bulge. I think that explains my weight. Well, that's what I claim anyway. Yes, I am a baby boomer. And I think, like most of the people of that generation, I've always had a wish to know what's happening elsewhere, what's different in the world. How are people different? What food's different? I know now I don't like some foreign foods, but I'm always willing to give most things a try, not everything. And I have to say, I remember shocking my parents when Janet and I, when we were engaged, on a Saturday evening, used to get together in my house and have the wonders of a Vesta curry. Now, for those of you who don't know what a Vesta curry is, it was one of the early instant meals. Well, it came in a packet and it was dry and you had to add water to it and you got a sort of sauce and some rice. But boy, it was delicious. But my parents found it very strange that I would want to eat something like curry, because I think their generation were much more prone to wanting to stay with what they knew, whereas for us it was exciting. By the way, the chow mein wasn't anywhere near as good, but anyway, we used to have the curry. We used to go out to Chinese restaurants. We used to do things that were a bit different. And then, of course, we were the generation that were blessed to be able to travel abroad, to go on planes to lands that our parents and grandparents would have taken years, ages to get to. Perhaps not years, but a few weeks to get to. And we could get there in a few hours. And one of the things that always struck me, didn't matter where I went and how I went, was that the people, although they had differences, although they ate different food, they spoke different languages, they perhaps had different thoughts, were still people. All of them like us. Most of them were helpful. Most of them wanted nothing more than to talk to you, to get to know you. Most of them, there were some that weren't. But isn't that true in this country too? So in those differences, I found excitement, I found interest. And I wanted to know more about the differences. I wanted to learn more. And how wonderful it is that we can now, today, through the wonders of things like the internet, find out so much more about what people are thinking, doing. And I really hope that in doing that, we can understand that although we have differences, we're all humans, we're all people, we're all God's people. And this week is a week of prayer for Christian unity. It is still surprising to me just how many different ways there are of people celebrating their Christianity. For me, it's wondrous. I've been able during my lifetime to go to a lot of churches with different denominations, different ways of worshipping, different ways of doing things. Yet in all of those places, I've still found that core of Christianity. It doesn't worry me that people do things differently. It doesn't worry me that people have different rules in their Christianity. Because underneath it all, in the centre of it all, is God, is Christ. And in a world where still today Christians can be prevented from worshipping, Christians can be really put under the spotlight and in some places suffer more than they should. But even in this country, still the differences that we see can be challenging. They shouldn't be. They should be welcomed. They should be praised, because in worshipping, however differently, we are still worshipping God. So in this week of Christian unity, let's celebrate those differences. Let's come together knowing that underneath all of the different ways we do things, as all people across the world do. We are all Christians, and that's what holds us together. And here's a prayer from the Armenian Church for this week. Living God, you have called us to unity. May our response to your call lead us to seek justice, reconciliation, and peace throughout the world. Amen.